So why don't we bring the meeting to order, and we'll do a quick pledge, and then we'll get right into the agenda.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Okay, did you have a chance to review the minutes? I sent those out as soon as I got back in town.
Yes, I reviewed them.
Any questions, comments?
Nope. Move to approve.
Second.
Oh, before we move forward with a vote, Jim, can you tell us where you are and if there's anybody present?
I'm in Chilmark, Mass, in a private home, and there's no one in the room with me.
Okay. So we have a motion to accept. It's been seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Jim?
Yes,
Maura?
Yes.
Myself, yes, so that's unanimous. The year-end estimate, we want to look at the comparison. The final year-end estimate that we looked at was 2.382, I think it was, roughly 2.282, roughly 2.3 million. And we're looking for a reconciliation because the June estimate was 1.8 million. Last month, we said that we believed it was items that had initially thought to have been encumbered that we did not execute against. I'm not sure what you had found on that, Matt.
I haven't actually done the analysis yet. I'll have it for the next meeting.
Okay. Do you have the trust fund balances?
Yep. We have the August trust fund balances. The first one is the Special Education Expendable Trust. Is $241,197.65. The second one is the Capital Improvement and Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund. That balance is $223,062.18. The next one is the unanticipated educational expenses. Unfortunately, this particular report wasn't sent to us. You have to understand that all the reports go to the trustees of trust fund at Kingston, and then they have to forward them on to us. We actually got one of the town's reports for the balance. So I'll report out that one at next month.
That balance that we're looking at on the screen is what month, do you know?
This would be, I tried to do it for the month of August, and so they didn't send anything for August. The balance there, you're right, is for, actually it's for June 30th.
June 30th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then for the facility use revolving fund, I still don't have updated information in the general ledger. They've been focusing on getting the payroll out for the last, we're on our second teacher's payroll, and is taking all hands on deck to get that done. And that went out today.
So then that would be June also, it looks like,
Yes.
correct?
actually, the numbers that you gave at the facilities meeting were as of July 31st.
Yes, I can try to pull those
I
up.
have those if you want them. Just ask me which fund.
Sure. Let's do the unanticipated educational expenses.
Okay. That was, I mean, they're not much different. $150,214.02.
Okay, so that's just the interest differential there.
Yeah.
From June to July.
And then, did you need facilities?
I didn't have anything for facility use for the month of July.
The number that we had in facilities was $171,433.80 as of July 31st. Both those amounts were as of July 31st.
And then the total is there, it's about $786,000 total in trusts with no real activity except for some interest accruals for the month since June, from what I'm seeing.
That's
I
right.
think there was an expenditure out of facilities, I believe, in July, or, yeah.
Yes, that's right. I did report that out. So basically the expenditures that came out of the fund in July were for the accounting system.
So
You have the.
that
you have the num-
total at the bottom is, it's like $6 more than the July total.
Okay.
So,
All right, then the next item is a budget adjustments, Matt. Do you have any budget?
There are no budget adjustments for this month. Okay, and I actually have an open items sheet.
And then, yeah, so roof damage on the seminary building.
Okay, so basically what's happening is we're evaluating options, and insurance coverage is unlikely. So just to remind people, it's just a piece of flashing that's way up high on the seminary, and it's lodged right now between a dormer and another section of the roof.
We'll be getting that fixed soon.
We are looking at our options.
I just want to be careful not to have to get to winter.
Yeah, it's not leaking right now.
Has someone gone up and actually looked at it to be sure?
To put someone up there, we have to harness them into a crane.
So it's thousands.
We're saying the insurance coverage is unlikely. Is that because it doesn't cross a threshold of deductibles, or?
I think it's going to be unlikely because it's more or less it's going to be more like a repair, because we can't really identify it as a storm damage. It could be more a maintenance issue.
Well, we think it was a storm, don't we?
Yeah, we think so, but we're not entirely certain. What happened was we had a pedestrian walk past the building and noticed the piece of flashing up on the side of the building. And so that has given us, that clued us into the problem. But the problem is that the flashing is behind the tower, and it can only be seen from another vantage point from the roof. So you can't get up close to it unless you're harnessed in.
what about with a pair of binoculars from that vantage point?
I can have them try.
So is the insurance company involved at all, or?
No, not at this point.
Okay,
I want to have options on hand before I contact the insurance company.
uh-huh.
All right, let's get an update on that, if you could, next
Yep.
meeting.
So what I've done is I've taken your list
Yeah, okay.
and I put yellow in here for it will be continuing. Green means that it's been completed.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one is Bakey staircase metal exposure.
Yeah,
So
we should have
basically,
no bookies at Bakey.
Yeah. yeah.
Shouldn't be doing
So
that.
so just to kind of recap on the loading dock on the stairs, the concrete stairs have eroded away, leaving some stair treads exposed, and someone could run by and cut themselves on the stair treads. What we did was we just cut off the ends that are protruding out with a cutoff wheel, because we're going to be coming before the facilities committee and ask for funds to actually repair the loading dock
Yep.
for next summer. I was hoping that it would be done before November, but I think it's going to be unlikely at this point.
But at least we have the safety issue eradicated at this point.
That's right.
That was the key.
Yep. Okay, the next one is memorial playground equipment, and I'm supposed to provide you with an update in cost and insurance coverage possibility. So the chains have been ordered and we're waiting for delivery. Once installed, we're going to be within specifications. So I believe this issue came up with our inspections of the playground. So once that's repaired,
When you say the chains, can you help me
So-
understand?
So there's a couple of pieces of playground equipment that kids play on and they're chained from underneath. So when
Okay.
they jump on it, it doesn't swing too far, okay?
Yeah.
So we're replacing those and it will then be within our insurance specifications. Because we get inspected by an insurance company every year,
Okay.
okay?
Are kids playing on that right now?
They are.
Yeah.
The next item are, well, I kept that open to kind of
Yeah.
tell you when it's completed, okay? The next item are 4 new leaks that are on the high school roof, okay? So to provide update on cost and insurance coverage possibility. Okay, so it's partially complete. So there are 2 leaks that are on the silo. The first one is where the scupper comes out off the top and it drains away from the building. That has been repaired, okay? The next one is where the atrium roof intersects with the silo. And that has been an ongoing problem since the building was built. And they've been looking at it. The problem is better than it has been, but they're still looking for options to try to seal that up completely, okay? I don't think that there's
So is
much
that fair to say it's not really leaking now, but it's a problem area that's gonna have to be
addressed.
better designed somehow?
Yes, that's correct. Okay, the second area is the area inside over the library. So when you go over to the library for tonight's meeting, you'll see some tiles that are out from the ceiling.
Yeah.
This is where the siding on the second floor has failed and it's getting into the side of the building through the siding, okay? It's not coming in through the roof. Now, we could get some insurance money for the damage inside of the library, but we're gonna have to repair the siding on the side of the building.
Yeah.
We have tried to contact the manufacturer or the builder of the building to see if there's a warranty on that siding. There is a warranty, but that company is out of business. So unfortunately, I think we're gonna be stuck with a project replacing the siding on that portion of the building. And Jim, I'm pointing to where the library
Yeah,
is.
Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, do you have any idea of roughly what the square footage involved is in that replacement?
I do not have the square footage. It is, I know I can describe it. So it's gonna be the length of the, I think we're on the east end of the building. And it's probably about 8 to 10 feet tall.
Dan has pictures.
Yes,
We can forward
8 to
them.
10 feet tall, and what would the approximate width be?
the length of the building.
Of
So
the library part of the building.
No,
Of the whole building.
it goes all the way down. At
Okay.
some point, we're gonna have to replace all the siding on this building.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's a discussion for facilities.
Yeah.
However, I think we would be doing it in sections.
Okay.
That would be what I would recommend.
But the part that's leaking is on the right-hand side of the library, right? Or is it behind the library?
It's behind, the library protrudes out from the building.
Yes, it's
So
that
it's
section.
behind the library up against where one of the science classrooms is.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it for questions?
Anything else, Jim?
No, that's good enough for now. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the dust collection system. So when I last reported to you, the motor and the controller had failed. And Dan was able to track down a company that would repair the circuit board, which is New Hampshire Electric Motors out of Laconia. And then Granite State Plumbing and Heating repaired the existing motor. And right now the unit is operating normally.
Great. Good job. Well done.
Okay, the next item is adding dollar costs and software, I'm sorry, to the software and subscriptions spreadsheet. I've been spending the last couple of days working on that, okay, and I'm looking at Jamie. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is providing a list that's going to be the basis of our budget.
Yeah.
Okay, And it's going to have last year's costs and this year's costs. And one of the things I wanted to show,
And then that list is then by the line items of our different subscriptions and programs.
yes, okay,
Just what you always wanted to.
I know, I've been
It's like a
asking for
Christmas
it. I've been
present.
asking for it for a bit. I'll be quite excited.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I
honest,
saw it.
and I'm sorry that I didn't have the year-end estimates. I've been trying to focus on that
Yeah.
because it's one year longest outstanding things. But I wanted to show this part right here. This is our new accounting software. And what I'm doing is I'm making a group, a purchasing group called Online Subscriptions and Software. And I'm attaching all of our software vendors that we purchase from, so that when I want to produce a report, instead of going into each individual accounts, I can just print from this purchasing group. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm excited about this accounting software.
That's something to remind me when we get to the agenda. That's not on the agenda, but I thought it after the fact about that.
Okay. The next one is book
About purchases, yeah.
book purchases. So it's partially complete. So I was only able to pull invoices for 2 book purchases, and it's linked in the Google Drive. So-
Okay, I can't get into the drive. Tom, are Heinemann and Savas, is that the same as the ones that were recommended through the Columbia Teaching School?
Sorry, Heinemann is a company, I don't know, I have to look that.
Okay, Heinemann is,
Heinemann is the.
library
company that-
books.
Yes,
and then
I'm sorry, I can't see it from here.
here,
The other was Savas.
That's Patty exactly what's what, she handles that.
this looks like curriculum.
Yeah. Well, that's good too.
I think Patty sent you on a very big list of books.
She,
right?
yeah, I'm doing that in between meetings.
Yeah,
I didn't get the chance to get to it today.
and I did sit down with Patty for like 30 seconds to try to get all this information. She's very busy.
Yeah.
So this is what I pulled out based upon the list that she gave me. So-
Jim, you got a question?
Yeah, when you scrolled through that, I only saw one entry from 2021. The rest were 2019 and 20.
For these were all purchases within the old accounting system. There weren't any based upon these vendors in the new accounting system that I could pull up. So I didn't see any in 2022, I'm sorry, 21, 22. So these would be book purchases done at the end of fiscal year 21 that would be used for fiscal year, the fiscal year we're in right now. Because we had to purchase in the spring for the fall.
The dates that I saw, I mean, we went through it pretty quick, were 2019, 2020, and I saw one for 2021.
Yeah, I know I have a Heinemann that Patty sent me, that Dr. Haynes sent me. That's for 2021. It's checking, it's a collection packing list, but it doesn't tell you the dollar amounts. It just says what
It's
we
the
received in
items, right?
units. Yeah.
She's trying to get you. the
Okay,
list.
that's not the one that the other one that you opened up.
No, I
The
don't-
list, it had a long list.
Okay. I'll have to improve on
I'll
that.
be going through that between this and the 6 o'clock meeting.
Okay,
But I will forward that to you, Jim, and to you, Maura, the list from Dr. Haynes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you too.
Okay. The next item, COVID spending update. I have to actually sit down with Patty Haynes with it, and because she managed it in my absence. So I have to get caught up with her on what she's done. So that is an open item. Okay,
Yeah, because that one, I think it was June, we had the reconciliation spreadsheet where it was, this was the grant, this is what was spent, this is a
Yeah,
grant,
I
this
agree
is
with
what was spent. And we just want to get that updated so
Yeah,
that.
I'll
we're
share
clear
that
what
out
we
with
have.
everyone right now, Gene, you can, just to get it updated.
the June one, yeah,
Yep, the Google Doc that had everything in it.
Yeah.
Yep, I can find that.
okay. And then the last item are an update on the costing versus quotes for paving. And so we were actually within budget by $500. So I have a little spreadsheet see if I can load it.
That's
And-
pretty good if you were them by $500 because you picked up the whole backside and Bakey parking lot.
Yeah.
Which was not part of the original plan.
Yeah. So for Bakey, they billed us for the full amount, 49,000. And then for Memorial, it was $500 shy of what the budget amount was.
Now, that's pretty good because I would have, that second lot wasn't a small piece of paving.
Yeah, and so just so they can see the invoices here, they're also linked into the. So in the Google Drive are these invoices as well. So this is the invoice we received. So this one here is for Bakey and it's for $49,000 in the middle. I wish I could highlight that on the screen. Right
No, you
there.
go. You just had it.
Okay. Can I close this out? All right. So the other one is linked here on that sheet too, that's in the Google Drive. And this is Memorials. Right here. Okay.
All right.
All right. So those are the open items. Now,
Matt, thanks for working on the software too. That really is something that we try to grab as an administrative team. We appreciate that you're putting it into a user-friendly format and looking forward to that myself.
Yeah, it'll be handy to have that.
The usage is another battle, but at least we'll know where everything is
Yeah.
and what it costs.
I think we're on to the business administrator.
Yeah, the business administrator.
Can I ask a question on the software? Have you, maybe this is totally like off topic, but.
Sure.
Have you guys done like a cost analysis on like how much time you think that this is potentially gonna save by having the software?
Well, that's the thing is that it's complicated because the district was kind of, when I was hired, the district was kind of all over the place with software. So what we did is
Yeah.
we had the librarians compile a master list
Mhm.
of all the different software that was being used at each building and each school. And then we looked at it all and we pared down some and eliminated some things and then looked at the different items. But the problem is that some companies, it's not as easy to find out the usage rates for the different software.
Yeah.
So I don't know, once Matt has created, he took that list, which was not really, it's kind of a little messy and not user friendly. It's been out of date for a couple of years because of COVID. So we were working on it and then we got into this mess and then so Matt took it and he's creating a much more clear spreadsheet. The question is going to be for us, usage in terms of there's some software that is directly related to teaching and learning and some that's running the organization. So we don't really know yet. That's part of what we're looking for is not only cost in time efficiency, but I'm really looking at it the other way, inefficiencies. Which ones have been purchased and really are just kind of like a pet project for one person and no one else is using them or they're not being used. We're just trying to make sure that our dollars are being spent in a manner that is helping the kids. But software does also include like Alma and the new software that Matt just implemented for those are different buckets than the teaching and learning software.
The two, for lack of a better word, the two big administrative productivity related kind of programs is Alma and the new accounting software.
Yeah, we have Frontline too, which helps us with
I would just
substitutes.
think accounting wise, you're gonna save so much time. is what
Oh,
you're saying.
with what he's got for software that we
Yeah.
just, I'll say it again.
Is it like a person a year?
No, but our business office, they were awesome because when Matt was out, they barreled through implementing the software. Despite us wondering if they could do it when he was out,
Yeah.
and they have it. They've only done the second payroll. On the new, so it's still really cumbersome to like when you do a new system.
Oh, sure,
But like,
yeah,
I think that in a year, it's really gonna help us to be able to generate reports much more quickly.
right.
And that was the other one I wanted to talk about in this committee after your business administration report is the Peterborough incident and the transparency. I don't know if you're aware of this.
No,
Petersboro just reported a $2.3 million theft of taxpayer funding through criminal organizations off seas that somehow got information and ACHs and vendor information and tricked the locality into sending the money to them, and it was immediately converted into Bitcoins and it's gone.
So Peterborough thought they were paying their vendors, but that
Yes.
money actually went.
Away.
Yes.
On,
So it wasn't that somebody on the Peterborough,
no,
wasn't somebody in the Peterborough administration that
No.
did this, but it was.
Correct.
Yes.
It appears that way.
I can give you my 2 cents in how they would have done it.
Okay.
So basically, they would have spoofed emails and make it look like the emails came from the organization asking for the transfer. Like, and we have a standard form, or we created a standard form where vendors would fill out to put in their banking information. And we would ask them to return that to us. Well, they accepted those forms via email, and they accepted the email as if it's coming from that organization.
Right.
And they changed the banking and routing information.
Right.
And the payment went automatically to the fraudsters.
Mm.
So they took the school district's payment, and then they took the vendor for their, I think their dam project.
And so how do you get the forms back from
Okay.
our vendors? Do you guys not do it electronically, or you guys just look, I mean, because I know I'll get email, people call, hey, Maura, you sent me this email asking for money. Well, first, did you look at what the email address, I mean,
Yeah.
is that it, or is there more to it that they're even spoofing the email that when you look at it, it actually looks exactly like them, like,
Yes.
how do you know that?
Well, we will not accept a form via email.
Okay,
And it's the same way with our direct deposit. We get these emails all the time
yeah,
trying to change the person's, account numbers. And we call up the person, say, if you want to change it, please come down to the office.
right, okay, so
Okay.
everything comes in paper to you, not via email.
That's right. And
Okay.
then I've also educated my staff with the idea that people don't change their bank accounts, or they change their bank accounts as often as they change their phone numbers. So if you think that someone's going to change the account number, call them up and verify that they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to have some sort of vetting process to make sure we're actually getting a legitimate change.
And we have to balance transparency with, so my guess would also be that they put a lot of information out on their websites, if people were able to glean through them, things and names and official documents, how they look, to be able to
Yes,
make it believable
Sure,
when they were trying to change it.
yeah.
yes. Now,
Yeah, I totally.
another piece is, and I've looked at their website, and there's nothing like that out there on there right now, but I know some communities, they put their manifests out on the website for all their taxpayers to see. So it would be easier for a fraudster to go in and look at the manifest and pick out
Mhm.
which ones to try to steal from, because it's going to be the largest ones.
Right,
So I think we need to have a greater discussion of how transparent do we want to be on the website. Currently, we just put out expenditure data in summary format only, not in detail.
Mhm.
So they can't glean that information from us. So we have to be careful about
yeah,
what we put out on electronic media.
Right, and this happening is a heads up that, I mean, we had talked at some point in time about allowing people, at least us, board members, to be able to get in and see it, but we have to be careful as to how much you just put out for everybody,
right,
because there's risks associated with doing it.
Yes. Now, for the transparency piece, I spoke with IT today. You're set up in the system, but for the rest of the board members, we're setting up Jamie to have access to our accounting software.
Mhm.
So he's going to be able to look into the system, but he's not going to be able to look deeply into the system. He's going to be able to generate enough information that he can ask deeper questions and then see everything live as I see it.
really, Matt just got sick of answering Jamie's questions, so we just said to have access to the system.
well, it's funny, because like, as we're talking, I was thinking, like,
Works.
I was actually thinking, like, when
Persistence
you were
pays
first in
off.
the accounting system showing us, and I was thinking to myself, that'd be pretty cool if we had access, that would stop us, Jamie, from asking a lot of questions, good questions. I
Yeah,
mean, that's great, I'm glad Jamie.
No, it will just sharpen his
But no,
questions.
I
Yeah.
get it, because like, as somebody who like works with accounting system, it's always, and I don't know how easy it will be for him to pick up, but like, I'm always like, ooh, well, how if I run it with this or without, and to just on your own, on the fly, to be able to decide, I want to run this number without this, or, so I think it would be,
Yeah.
I think it would be cool for Jamie to be able to
Yeah.
just play around with that, so. that's neat.
Although there are certain areas that he's not allowed into,
Mhm.
which would be specifically special education and
Sure.
health
Health
insurance.
insurance, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the employee census data.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Don't want any of that.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
Don't want
No,
anything
that's
near any of
cool.
that.
But pretty much everything else is fair game.
Yeah.
You know, but you're gonna have the web version. So you're gonna go onto it with a web browser.
I'll grab, Dan is the one that set it up. I'll grab him and ask him to step me through it.
Well, actually, what's gonna
Or is it
happen
better to
is,
come in and sit down with you for.
yeah,
an
because
hour?
what I want to do is I want to log in as you and really poke around and see what kind of access you really have. And then, because I've set it up, but I've actually never seen it on the user side.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and I also want to give you directions. I want to do handwritten directions and hand them to you so you know how to get through the
Yeah.
recording and stuff like that. Because I'm still learning on how to pull up invoices out of the system. And I have to ask the ladies to
Yeah, I'm
help
sure
me.
there's protocols that you have to use and certain ways you can pull things up or it doesn't work. And
That's right.
then you have to swear at this machine because it's not doing what you want it to do.
That's right. Yes. Okay.
Typical system.
But what I do find with the system is it does generate a lot of data. It's a huge amount of data. And I do want to say, you do need bodies to input the data to
Yeah.
generate the amount of data. So the more data you ask for, the more work it's going to be. But
I mean, you guys had to, did you have to, like, for every vendor, did somebody have to manually enter name, address, contact information,
No.
email, or did your, okay, so your system populated that for you?
yeah, so what we did is we imported all the AP vendor information from the old system. We imported the general ledger account structure and the general ledger setup, and then the beginning balances. Okay. When it came to payroll, all they did is import the census data. Okay. And I had to manually set up the payroll so that we can get the FTEs out directly from the system. It's not perfect, but it's almost there.
This should be a good upgrade. And Superintendent Ambrose and I were talking earlier about, as we go forward, the ability to get things coded by education type and by school, and doing that rigorously will give us all kinds of other abilities in terms of better understanding and better billing for services, for lack of a better word.
Yes. So really, the way I put it to people is we have to groom the data to get it what we want. So if it doesn't generate the data that you want, we have to look at how we can modify it to make it generate it. And so far, you know, I'll just come up with a list. We have to report all the union information to the union, you know, name, address, and so on. And there's a field that we're having problems pulling out, and it's because we're trying to set it up like the old system, and we need to change our ways to make it set up like the new system.
Yep.
Right.
So it just takes time. You have to
It
just.
does, you'll have different categories and clicks. Jim, question?
Yeah, Matt, with this new system, will we get better descriptions on the manifests that we get? For
We better.
example, the ones we get now will say like XYZ plumbing, and then for the description, it'll say XYZ plumbing, nothing about what the work was or where or anything like that.
And out of the new system?
Yeah, will the new system be able to generate detailed some description line that is descriptive?
I think that's gonna depend on what we take the time to enter when things are uploaded.
Yes.
So it's like any system, the information that you can get out of it is only good as the information that you put into it.
Right, but if you can enter XYZ plumbing on one line and you can enter it on another line, instead of entering XYZ plumbing on the description line, you could actually enter the description.
Right, you could say, repair for the bathroom at the high school.
That I will
Right.
say, much better than
Yes.
last year.
And that worked hard.
Yes.
Last year, there was many instances of the vendor and the description were identical, so you had no idea what it was. And that's been
Right. Yeah.
really reduced.
And that should be, I'm hoping it shouldn't exist right now. So you're gonna get my normal narrative for the next manifest. I will definitely make sure it's there. If not, I'm sure I can generate a report that pulls, like, reports truncate descriptions.
Yep.
And if the field is larger, I will generate a secondary report to give out the full field.
Okay,
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be
it's-
back.
Yeah, I know.
It's just,
And thank goodness for the team that kept this going, because now it's really worth it.
yes. Okay,
I'm psyched.
okay, you got the floor, Matt.
yeah, okay, so my general narrative is we finished our second teacher payroll in the new accounting system. The amount of effort necessary for this task has been significant. Just to kind of give you an idea, we've had our trainers on, they're almost on standby, and they take calls from us all the time, and they've walked us through the last 2 payrolls. So it's amazing the help that we're getting. It's also amazing sometimes when we run into a wall, how hard that wall is to bust through.
The payrolls were clean, no problems with anybody's checks,
The
deposits, however you want to frame it.
the first payroll had 4 issues in it, and those 4 issues would be like, we missed a life insurance payment, or we got, they're minor, very minor.
Fixed immediately.
Yes, fixed immediately.
Global, as in we missed it for everybody or just
No,
for
for
individuals?
separate
4
issues.
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different state, okay.
Right.
Which, by the way, I just have to say, when you email everyone saying, look very closely at your paycheck to make sure that because they don't always do that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
probably have 4 issues if you did that in June before the new
You might have,
system.
yeah.
Yeah, because it just, people
People,
don't,
when everybody went to auto deposits and they no
Yeah.
longer handed out checks, people don't pay as much attention to it.
check, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I expect the effort that we're putting into it is gonna, will make us more efficient. So I'm addressing here that setup is a problem where, like, trying to get a report, I'm trying to get out health insurance lined up to individuals. The setup isn't perfect, so it's been difficult, and we just have to groom the data. Right now, we've spent most of our time on setup and not monthly reporting, but I'm trying to transition to that, okay? So because of the intensive setup of this system, the revenue data within the system isn't complete, okay? So I can't give you billing information for SLC. However, we are billing them every single month, and they're paying every single month, okay?
It just doesn't show in there yet. You gotta get that step in there.
That's correct, okay? We also receive our monthly assessments from Kingston and Newton normally, okay? They pay like we expect them to pay every single month. We have not billed Fremont yet. I didn't put them in here, okay? Fremont's gonna be, I think, October 1st. So because of system constraints, I'm only gonna present the cash balances that are in the bank, not in the general ledger, okay? So as of yesterday, we have $7.2 million in the bank, which is sufficient to manage operations for several months. Total expenditures through August 31st is $3,967,051.25. I was able to run this report as a global report. I haven't yet been able to break out health insurance from that report. We've been able to generate a report without health insurance. We've not been able to create a summary report of just health insurance. So this is just I got this information from the global report, okay? Encumbrances through the same period is $20,661,370. We have a remaining balance of $10,678,602, or 30.24%.
Go ahead, Jim.
So the 3,967,000 includes health insurance.
Yes, it includes all payroll and benefits and anything that we've purchased for supplies, equipment, and so on from
through
July
August
1st,
31st. Okay.
August 31st. So it's absolutely everything.
Okay.
So the report that's in your folder does not reflect health insurance, though. Okay,
Just for clarification also, the 20,661,370 encumbrances,
Yes,
That would include the anticipated insurance for the whole year.
I'm hoping, okay? It should include payroll and all benefits. And I've got to get all the principals to put in all their purchasing, what they believe that they're going to purchase throughout the year. Because it's easier on a management point to manage your open purchase orders than it is to manage your budget line items, okay?
I just don't want people at home looking at this and saying, how in God's name did by the middle of September, have you burned through $20 million
Oh,
worth of actual spending? That's not the
it's
case.
like all payroll.
That is us allocating out the year's balance on these things
Yeah.
into there, saying these will be encumbered.
And with my educated eye on this, I don't think that number is high enough.
That would seem to me,
It should be closer to
agree.
like 28 to 30 million. Okay. So, however, getting out teachers' payroll has been our priority. Okay.
all needs to be priority.
Yep. So, on the next paragraph, I said that we haven't encumbered for all of our purchases. I'm also double checking all the encumbrances for payroll and in related benefits shortly. At this point next year, I'd expect to have an amount of about 10% remaining in the budget at this point in the year. Okay. All right. So future considerations. The first one is we had TD Bank leave their location here in Kingston, and another bank has moved into that spot. And what we've done is we've sat down with the new bank that came in, and we sat down with North Shore Savings out of Newton. And what I'd like to try to do is get a proposal to present to this committee and also to the school board to decide whether we want to stay with TD Bank or move to another bank that's local within the community. Now, what's happening is for our deposits, our employees have to drive either to Epping or to Plastow. And for some of our deposits, it's daily, and it could be for significant balances such as school lunch, because school lunch gets deposited daily into our accounts.
What kind of a daily figure are they, how much cash do they get nowadays?
Well, I really don't want to say publicly, but it's not,
Right.
all of our large amounts come from 4 different sources, 5. The state of New Hampshire for grants, Kingston, Newton, Fremont, and who's the 5th one? Well, anyways, they're all electronic.
Well, listen, I guess maybe I'm just I'm curious that, are kids still paying in cash? They don't have the whatever account, or and everything's free now? There's still enough
Yeah.
dollars and cents in physical cash being.
Okay,
I get you don't want to say the figure, but.
no, yeah, but school lunch, while it's free, the first meal is free. The second meal you have to pay for.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
No,
all
that means in one city.
Right.
Oh,
When you
okay,
go
I
for
was saying,
seconds,
no more
yeah.
breakfast.
No,
days.
no, but I mean, like,
Seconds.
yeah, no more second. I mean, if they have seconds, they have to pay for them.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
We don't get
Okay.
reimbursed from the federal government for seconds.
yeah,
Okay. And the federal government doesn't reimburse us for the a la carte menu either.
right.
And I believe last year they made like $40,000 off of a la carte.
Hmm.
So, but normally.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to do it, because it would be better in my mind than it is without seeing any presentations to minimize that travel time and cash.
Right, I have to imagine too, like what our time, aside from maybe security issue, of how much. Dollars and cents, what's that costing us today in there? Payroll.
Jim?
Matt, does the à la carte net amount offset the uncollected lunch balances at the end of the year? Is that, or is that I mean, they're separate accountings, but I'm just wondering.
Last year, there weren't any uncollected lunch balances because the government paid for the lunches.
Yeah, the amount of uncollected lunch balances typically is not significant. I mean, it's significant, okay, but it's not like last year we got $40,000 in just a la carte. I don't think we have unpaid lunch balances exceeding, let's say, $15,000.
15,000?
And I'm just making a guess off the top of my head.
Jim, I think I would have to research that question and get back to you. It's kind of, there's a little bit to that.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay. So back to the banks. At some point in the future, I don't want to make a rush right now, because even if we did decide to make a move of banks, I want to make a move during the summer months, not during the middle of the winter. And especially since we're in the middle of trying to get our accounting system up and running.
I told Matt, nothing new until this accounting system is totally settled and up and running. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, but I can get the proposal done and then we
Yeah.
can make a move at some point in the future. However, I do have to say, we do like TD Bank. They are easy to work with.
So unless there's gotta be a conversation before we make a change.
Yeah.
Even if the location is super convenient, we
Right.
want to make sure that there's a return on the processes that are very comfortable for us with TD Bank.
Okay. And then the last thing I had here is on the next manifest, I'm gonna restart my normal narrative.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm sure Jamie's gonna restart his normal questions.
Yeah. Get back in the swing of things. That's the last item on the agenda. Jim, anything from your perspective that we missed that you'd like to bring up?
no, thank you.
Maura,
Good, thanks.
Matt?
Nothing.
No, I'm good.
Doesn't ask me.
Well, I figure you just jumped in. I'll ask you.
You're right.
Okay, so if there's nothing further, then we'll adjourn and we'll meet again in October.